All right, welcome back everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to make some fermented salsa. It sounds really complicated, but it's actually really easy. So I've got some ingredients laid out here. There's actually a lot of flexibility in this recipe, but I'm going to show you the way that I like to make it. But before we get started, I need one thing. Okay, so this is a pretty simple recipe. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to chop all your ingredients, mix them with some salt by weight, and then you're going to combine them all in a mason jar here and let them sit on the counter at room temperature for a week or two. You can taste it until it gets to a particular tanginess that you like, or you can just be lazy like I usually am and leave it for about a week and then stick it in the fridge. Once it's fermented, it'll keep a really long time. And you can just use it as a little condiment. It goes great with eggs if you like huevos rancheros or omelets or something like that. It also goes really good with tortilla chips, but I would tear through salsa so fast if I did that it would be hard to keep up with making salsa. So we're going to start by chopping our vegetables. So first we're going to chop our peppers. Now you want to chop the peppers so they're pretty fine. Remove the seeds, there's no need to have the seeds in the salsa. And then when you're done, just set them aside so we can combine everything later. Remember when you're done chopping peppers to wash your hands. It can be pretty miserable if you go to wipe your eyes afterwards, or if you're a guy, if you go to the bathroom. Not a whole lot of fun. Next we're going to chop the onion. Same deal, dice that so it's nice and fine. You want it to be about the same size as the jalapenos or whatever peppers you want to use. You can use whatever you want. I've got 2 jalapenos here. And then we're not going to use all of this cilantro. This is a crap ton of cilantro. We're just going to take a little bit of that and chop it up and add it in as you like. You don't have to use the cilantro. I like cilantro, so I'm going to add some cilantro. And then with the tomatoes, we're going to peel and seed the tomatoes. I'll show you a way to do that over here on the stove. You don't have to do this if you're lazy. A lot of times I don't because, whatever, right? If you're in a hurry and you want to throw this together real fast, you can always use canned diced tomatoes. That works out pretty well too. I've done that before. And a lot of times actually, unless you're getting tomatoes from like a local hothouse or a farmer's market or something, a lot of times canned tomatoes are actually fresher than the fresh tomatoes you buy at the grocery store. Reason being is that the tomatoes that are canned are picked, taken straight to a canning facility, and then canned right there, whereas tomatoes that go to the grocery store are picked ahead of time when they're not quite ripe because they have to survive the shipping. So in order to peel and seed these tomatoes, we're going to need a pot of boiling water and a spoon that's slotted. And what you're going to do is you're going to get that water up to boiling. You're going to put the tomato on that slotted spoon, dip it into the water for about 5 seconds, and then pull it up. And then the skin should just peel right off. And for seeding the tomato, just cut the tomato in half and squeeze the seeds right out. Okay, let's get all our ingredients chopped up and ready to go, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, now that everything's chopped, it's all here in this bowl. What we have to do is we have to weigh all of the produce, everything, a whole bunch, to get the total weight. I have a scale here. I'm going to use grams because it makes the math easier. I've got a second pot here. Put that on your scale, turn the scale on and let it weigh out to come to 0 or tare. Once you get your 0, then you can add all of your produce to find out what the total weight is. Okay, so I'm at 1,645 grams. The reason that number is important is because we're going for a 5% salt mixture here. So I have to take 5% of 1,645. So we're going to do that math real quick, and I'll let you know what it is in a second. Okay. So we're going to add 82 grams of salt to this mixture. And that's how we're gonna get the right ratio of salt to produce. So, got my salt, got another bowl. Remember to re-zero your scale and add salt until you hit 82 grams. Came prepared, ran out of salt. Okay, there's our salt. It looks like a ton of salt. The reason we use so much salt is because it keeps bad bacteria from building up the ferment. You add the salt, the bad bacteria don't like it, but the good bacteria do, so you get a good, healthy fermentation. And then you have a nice lacto fermented salsa. Although, I don't think this mason jar is going to do it for me. Okay, so let's get this cutting board out of the way. And don't cut myself on the knife. So, we're going to mix this salt up with the vegetables. Just stir it around a little bit. It's all going to mix in as the salsa starts to ferment. This salt is going to pull moisture out of all of the tomatoes and peppers and everything, and it's going to build up a brine, and that is what's going to keep the vegetables from going bad while they ferment. So then all you do is add all this to your mason jar. Got a lot more salsa than I thought here. Now when you package this all up, you don't want to let it sit too high up into the jar, otherwise you could end up with a kind of a pressure buildup. And kind of smash it down in there just a little bit. It's not like sauerkraut where you want to really smash it too much. Put the rest of this in this little jar. We got almost a whole gallon worth of salsa tonight. The way I eat it probably lasts me about a week. There you go, make a complete mess while you're doing it. Okay, there we go. We've got our 2 jars. So I'm just going to put lids on these real lightly, and we're going to let them sit on the counter for a couple weeks. And then when they're all done, they'll be salsa. Now, like I said, you can do this quicker and easier by just using canned diced tomatoes. It goes a lot faster. It's almost idiot-proof at that point. But I just wanted to show you guys the full gamut with the peeling and seeding the tomatoes, which I don't always do. Sometimes I get really lazy, and I just don't bother. It's just seeds and peels, right? Whatever. But this time I wanted to do everything and show you guys the whole process. Give it a try. I hope you like it. And let me know what you think. In the meantime, keep your life in motion.